Hi friends, Colleen Beamish here. Thank you so much for joining me for another scrapbooking process video here at my channel. Today I will be documenting my sister's birthday using the beautiful Millie kit from Felicity Jane. The papers in this kit were so beautiful, as you can see there, the floral pattern that I'm just matting behind my photo. And I was a little intimidated by this kit at first because it had so much red in it. And I wouldn't say red is really a color that I lean towards typically, but when I saw it in person, especially the alpha stickers, I noticed that it's much more of like a soft red. Like there's definitely a pink undertone to it. It's kind of a pinky red. So if you're someone who doesn't like red either, I wouldn't be scared of this kit. It's really beautiful and all of the colors work together beautifully. So right now I'm picking out some of the patterned papers and I'm just layering them behind my photo. I picked out papers that made me think of my sister and that were really great for a birthday layout. So I'm trimming this one down because I want all of the colors to be visible. So a little bit of the blue and the yellowish greenish as well as the red and the pink. So I really love that. And then I'm going to add some paper with just little black hearts. They look like polka dots, but they're little hearts, and that just really made me think of my sister as well. So that's what I'm going with right now. I'm adding some strips of paper down to the bottom of the page. I have the blue and white strip there is a branding strip from one of the papers, and then the other two pieces are just from scraps from the other pattern papers in the kit. So now I'll go ahead and adhere these down. I'm just using some double-sided adhesive to do that. Oh, and I should mention this layout is 8.5 by 11. So I'm fitting a lot of pictures and a lot of embellishments on this page. I'm doing my best with it. I would say I end up using the majority of the embellishments in this kit. I really had a lot of fun playing with all of it. Also, if you're wondering, my photos I printed out using my Canon selfie printer, and I just go into the app Pick Frame to kind of organize them how I want and size them the way I want. So I made that kind of faux photo strip that you saw earlier. It will come back on the screen soon, but I made that using Pick Frame, and I really like how that works to fit so many pictures onto one page. So I'll just fiddle around with these papers until I have them placed how I wanted them, and then I'll rough them up just a little bit. I will rough them up a bit more later, but for now I just kind of push them around. So now I'll start working on attaching the other papers behind my photo. So as I mentioned in my previous video, which I'll link up here in the top corner, I have difficulty arranging my whole page and then having to pick it up and put it back down. I found a bit of a solution this time. It was a little bit easier because I didn't have a lot going on. But I just slipped that bottom piece underneath. That was the easiest one to put back down because it was underneath everything else. With these, I will pick them up exactly how I had them and staple them together so they don't have a chance of moving. This did cause a little bit of a hiccup just because with the staple, now there's going to be a bump under my photo, but I do have a solution for that. First, I have to get them back into place, which I make more difficult for myself because I'm such a perfectionist. Yeah, that's really a me problem. Let me know if you're like that. Are you a perfectionist when it comes to your scrapbooking, or are you someone who just kind of goes with the flow and just is very casual about everything? Sometimes I wish I could be. So I have that arranged how I want, and now I'm going to start adhering down my photos. Oh, first I'm going to trim off the edge of this paper. It was sticking out a little bit. And honestly, I could have trimmed down all those papers because I didn't need them to go all the way across the page, but it is what it is. I didn't really worry about it. So now I am adhering my photo to the page, but because of that staple, I do want to pop it up a little bit. And to do this, I'm just using some heavyweight cardstock. This is 110-pound cardstock that I usually use for my card making, so I have a lot of it on hand, especially a lot of scraps. So I put one layer on the back of my photo, and I felt like it needed more dimension, so I'll put a second layer of the cardstock behind it, and that works perfectly, and it's nice and sturdy. Of course, you could also use craft foam for this, or foam tape, whatever you have on hand. So I'm liking how this is looking. I'm going to go ahead and adhere it down, and that works perfectly to go over the staple and just gives the page some good dimension. So I'll do the same thing with my photo strip here, except I'll just put the layers of cardstock on one side, the side that's not going to be layering over the main photo, and that will kind of balance itself out, and like I said, it adds dimension to the page, and then it also helps when I add embellishments and stuff, then it really has multi-layers because these are popped up. So yeah, now I'll start working on embellishing the page. So this is not from Felicity Jane. These foam letters and I guess foam icons and words are from Citrus Twist. I will link them down in the description along with everything else I use in this video. This just says happy. I want the title of my page to be happy birthday, so I'm taking the puffy letters from the Millie kit and I'm just going to spell out the word birthday. To line this up properly, I have a piece of, I guess, packaging. It's like release paper, whatever you want to call it, acetate maybe. And I'm just lining the letters half on this piece of acetate and half off. And I'm using the strip at the bottom of my page as a straight edge so that I'm making sure I'm lining these up as straight as possible. And that works really well for me. I was kind of surprised. So I'll get them lined up on my page how I want them, and then I'll go ahead and press down the tops of the letters so they're sticking to the page, and then I'll pull the acetate away. And this works really, really well. Two of the letters don't stay on and the Y ends up a little bit crooked, but that's a super easy fix. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. Like I said, these letters are super pretty. I also love that the letter sheet comes with a row of little hearts. I didn't use any of them on this spread, but they will definitely be put to use later on. So I'm just arranging that perfectly, and it looks really good. I will later add an exclamation point, which I don't mention later on, or I didn't film it later on. But there will be an exclamation point at the end of birthday. So now I'm playing with the embellishments. This banner was something I really, really wanted on the page because it had all of the colors in it and it was totally birthday-ish. So I play with it all over the page. I push it all around. Go to the comments right now and take a guess as to where that banner ends up because it will be on the page, but it took me a long time to figure it out. So let me know where you think it's going to end up. So now I'm just taking things from the die cut pack and just kind of moving it across my page. I'm taking the number 2, well, it's going to be the number 24. That's the age my sister turned this year. And these are just chipboard alphas from the Taylor kit, I believe. So they have pretty gold foiling on them. Like I said, I'm just going to keep adding the die cuts. I took a really, really long time with this. I cut out most of my struggle of arranging the die cuts. But yeah, I'm liking how it's looking so far. And of course, you go through the process and then you don't like how it looks and you move everything around anyway. So now I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm roughing up the cardstock more to kind of distract myself, I guess. I find roughing up the cardstock on my page, or my pattern paper, I guess, kind of tricky because I feel like I'm ruining it. But when other people rough up their papers, it looks so good. So I go with it. Are you someone who roughs up papers, or do you like more of like a clean look? Let me know. So I'm just adhering down some embellishments now. I really like this loved tab. I love that color too. That's such a pretty color. So I'm adhering that up at the top. What am I doing next? Now I'm playing with the banner again. And I like how it looks over on this side because it adds a pop of color next to the black and white photos. I'm adding in this tag. That's super pretty tag. I didn't put any adhesive on it because I slipped it right behind the photo and it just stuck there. And so I wasn't going to pull it back out. Now I'm placing these starbursts in a visual triangle. The starbursts are something that I don't think I would typically reach for, and so it was something that I was like, well, I should use them right away so that they don't end up in my stash being unused, and I think they're just a cute little pop on the page, you know, they're just kind of tucked away, and obviously, like I mentioned, it's a visual triangle, so it carries your eye. So this banner is ending up at its final destination. I'm just using some liquid glue to put that one in place. And it will be on the side of the photo strip here, and I think that's really cute. It definitely wasn't what I initially imagined using the banner for, but I think it ends up looking really great. So I'll just adhere these starbursts as well, again using some Tombow permanent adhesive, and I'll stick down this ticket using some double-sided adhesive. And yeah, this page is really coming together. I'm really happy with it. So as I continue to stick things down, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about what I'm excited about right now. So I have a family friend who works in commercial production as well as casting, and back in November I was able to help her on a commercial shoot as a production assistant, and that was something that was super unexpected and really exciting. And now she is working on casting a film, and she asked for my help with it since there's a lot more things that have to go into it with the pandemic going on, like keeping track of cast members being COVID tested and stuff. So she knew there was going to be a lot more work and needed some help. So she asked me to help her out, and it's mostly going to be like just data entry and communicating with cast members and things, but it's something I'm just looking forward to, doing something other than just crafting all day. So that's what I'm excited about right now and what I'm looking forward to. I would love for you to go down to the comments and let me know what you're happy about or looking forward to, what's bringing you joy right now. So going back to the layout, I added some string. It's not really twine because it's really thick, but I added some string to my tag here, and I'm just tying it in a bow. I find that I need to tie bows upside down, otherwise when I try to tie them right side up, they end up upside down, if that makes sense. So I had to turn my layout upside down to get the bow going the right direction, and this is super cute. I love to add bows to my page, which I think I've discovered recently. So I'm just trimming off a little bit of excess, and that looks really cute. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp down my date. I kind of do the whole ghost stampy thing, so there's a little bit of a echo of stamp. And I'm switching out the black label for the pink one. The black label I stamped "Let's Celebrate" on it, and it just became really dark and I kind of regretted it. So I switched out to the pink label. I think that adds a nice fresh bit of color. So I picked up these little pearl heart adhesive thingies at the craft store the other day, and they're just the perfect addition to any layout. They're just cute and small and pretty. And then I'm using some liquid pearls to add dots. I haven't used these before either. I also picked them up at the craft store just to give them a try. And I've never used like Nuvo drops or anything like that, so I want to try it out. And I like how these look. I think I was expecting something a little bit shinier and maybe a little bit lighter too, but this is the color Pewter. I'll link it down below. But it's definitely like a kind of a dark silver, which you'll see in the up-close photos. So at this point, I thought I was done with my layout. I was like, I'm all done. It looks great. The next day, I was taking photos, and I felt like it was missing something. So I went back to the embellishments and added more, and I just kept adding. So I took this big rose die cut, and I cut it down, and I'm adding some liquid adhesive to stick it onto the page. I was really excited to add the rose. My sister's middle name is Rose, and so we always kind of associate roses with her. So I was glad to get this on the page. I wanted it over to the right a little bit more, and I didn't realize until after I had stuck it down, and I couldn't pick it back up because this liquid glue is terrific. So I'm adding the cut off piece over to the side, just kind of filling a gap, and I will balance out the page, and by that I mean I will fix the fact that I put it over to the left a little bit too much by adding a label. That won't be in the video because it was after the fact again, so you'll just see it in the up close photos at the end. So I added that die cut heart as well, and now I'm adding some more of the little embellishments to really just tie it all together. I feel like by adding the flower at the bottom, it really pulls the page together, because before it kind of felt like the top part was disconnected from the pattern papers at the bottom. So by adding the flower and then adding the little embellishments around it, it really pulls the whole page together. So that's my layout for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Please comment down below. Every engagement with this video really helps my channel grow. And if you want to see some more crafty content from me, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I will definitely be bringing more content to you soon. And yeah, I hope you have a great week. Bye.